Hello everyone. Welcome to your collective energy update for the full moon in Gemini happening on the 27th of November. Now we're going to discuss the overarching theme of this lunation, of course. We're going to talk about a few of the planetary transits that could be affecting this full moon, as well as some do's and don'ts. Now, as we know, whenever there's a full moon, the sun and the moon oppose each other, right? The sun represents logic, our logical mind, our identity even, whereas the moon represents our emotion, feeling, intuition. During a full moon, both of these concepts oppose each other, right? The sun right now is in Sagittarius, which is optimism, it is joy, it's philosophy, higher education, travel. Whereas, and looking at the bigger picture, that's Sagittarius. But the moon in Gemini talks more about, to an extent, instant gratification, right? While Sagittarius wants to look at the next 5 to 10 years, right? Gemini wants to look at the next 5 to 10 minutes. So there is going to be a little bit of a tug of war between our philosophies, our ideologies, our beliefs, right? The overarching theme of our life, our life's purpose, even the North Node, if you think about it, versus what we can do to communicate that. Gemini is ruled by Mercury, right? There could be a little bit of a conflict when it comes to this. There could be arguments related to, this is my truth, I'm trying to explain my truth to you, but the person you're explaining to has their own set of truths and beliefs as well, right? So it's almost like two rams kind of headlocked. It's interesting that on the 25th, 2 days before this lunation, Mercury is going to enter its pre-shadow period before it goes retrograde. Let me see when. It is going retrograde on the 13th of December till the 1st of January. Mercury being the ruler of Gemini, it's gonna have a piece of the pie during this lunation. There will be miscommunication, there will be misunderstandings. Right now, the power of the pause could not be more important. It's going to be better before you quiet your mind down, before you react. There's a difference in between responding and reacting. We may be tempted to react at this time, especially because we have Mars squaring Saturn around this time. It's almost like we've been feeling restricted, right? And not just because of this transit, we have been feeling restricted because of Scorpio season. We've been feeling restricted because of eclipse season. It's almost like we are being puppeted. We have been puppeted, right? It's for our very best, don't get me wrong. We are being puppeted because there are lessons that we have to be taught. Otherwise, we're just going to stagnate as human beings. Those lessons are difficult, yes, of course, especially once we've moved through Scorpio season. But there was something very interesting that I came across the other day. It was called the Law of Divine Compensation. And it spoke about how anything we feel that we have lost is actually saved for us in almost this great universal bank. And it'll either return to us or come back to us in a better form, only if we align to the frequency of love and peace and surrender and acceptance, because energy is never created nor destroyed, right? What I'm getting to here is there has to be almost this acceptance of the darkness that we have gone through. But at the same time, we cannot use that darkness and that shadow that we have experienced as an excuse to lash out at other people. We do not want to have a chip on our shoulder because universally, collectively, we've all been going through it, right? The end of the year is always difficult because we're phoenixes rising from the ashes once the new year begins. There's darkness, we have to go through it, right? We've all been through it. So, the power of the pause. It is important for you to, at the same time, stay optimistic because the sun is in Sagittarius, which is ruled by Jupiter, the planet of expansion and luck and joy and all of that. And do not look for instant results. Play the long game when it comes to this. This Gemini full moon may have you feeling very analytical. It may have you feeling very talkative. It may have you feeling aggressive even, right? Be slow to react. We also have Mercury squaring Neptune retrograding around this time, which can lead to more confusion, more illusions, and more miscommunication, right? Look at the bigger picture. This can also cause a few conflicts around our relationships because, well, Venus is going to be squaring Pluto. This transit talks about power struggles within connections. It talks about secrets. It talks about mystery. It could even talk about deepening connections, because that's what Scorpio does. It goes deep, right? That's what Pluto does. Pardon me. But getting to the point, it's a fine line between seeing the bigger picture and being in the moment, right? It's almost like you're walking on a tightrope. You have to be extremely careful with yourself. This full moon is going to bring heightened emotions, heightened reactions, right? But if it's not going to serve you down the line, the bigger picture of Sagittarius, do not indulge, okay? A lot of truths may come to light around this time as well, because that is what full moons represent, culminations. Think of what was happening in your life around the 18th of June of this year. That is when we had a new moon in Gemini, right? So whatever was happening around then, whatever the theme of your life was, you may see a closure to that theme now. You may see a greater understanding to that theme now. This could be in the form of a conversation or a realization. Let's start with some archetypes. We have the Deer. Beautiful card. Let me get them both out and then we'll talk about it. And then we have the Father. Interesting. It's interesting that the Deer was the first card that we got. The Deer talks about emotion, of course. It talks about a deep release of feeling. As the moon, especially the full moon in all its glory, controls the tides, it also controls the water within our bodies. We're 70% water, right? What is water? It is emotion. It is feeling. It is intuition. There could be heightened emotion at this time, and it's all right for you to release it. It's all right for you to feel vulnerable, because the moment you let go of everything that's holding you back, the pain, the loss, the sorrow, once you let it go, it's almost like you're clearing out the clutter, you're clearing out the junk, and it almost makes you closer to the divine, to the unseen. It makes you an integral part of the collective energy. There is almost this melancholy, right? Almost this apathy that's been following most of us around for quite a while now. I would say at least for the last 4 months. And what I have personally started doing is I've started taking out a little bit of time each week to force myself to cry. Because when we don't release that emotion, it can manifest itself into our physical body. We can start feeling aches, we can start feeling pains, we can start getting headaches. I deal with chronic headaches. And one of the main causes for those headaches is unprocessed trauma, right? Don't bottle it up. If you feel the need to release that emotion, find yourself a quiet corner and cry. It's one of the best forms of meditation, right? Now, when it comes to the Father, this could literally be talking about somebody's father. This could literally be talking about a connection you have to your father and how maybe that connection needs to be nurtured, whether they're present in your life or not. This could also be talking about the masculine, right? We have divine masculine and feminine both within us. Masculine energy is yang energy, right? This is action, creation. This is movement, drive, ambition. It is important for us to, of course, be in this yin energy of receiving. The Deer, I see this as yin energy, as feminine energy, but we need to also process the masculine. We need to process the yang. We have to also understand the duality that the Father comes with, right? On one hand, the Father could talk about being a protector, being a guardian for oneself and for other people. But at the same time, there is something known as smothering, right? So there has to be a detachment from outcome as well. Where are you over focusing? Where are you overcompensating? What can you release so that it can resolve itself, right? So again, a very beautiful balance between yin and yang, when to sit quiet and when to take action. The masculine or the father could also be another person. This could be somebody coming in to, I wouldn't say complete you, but to complement your energy. If you are primarily yin energy, feminine energy, this could be someone coming in. You see the illustration here. On one side, we have beautiful color. We have a tree that's very intact and upright. And on the other side, that looks like chaos to me, right? So for some of you, this could be an acceptance of a person's light as well as their shadow. Because masculine and feminine, well, they both come with their own fair share of darkness and light. So let's see what the tarot has to say. I'm using the Phantom Wise Tarot, and as always, please remember that this is a general reading. It is not going to resonate for all of you. Only take the bits that do resonate and leave the rest behind for somebody else. And this is for any sign. It doesn't matter what your sign is. It's a collective energy update. All right. We have the Eight of Swords starting off the reading. And this has been happening a lot. The Eight of Swords has been starting off many readings. Okay, both of these wanted to come out. I'm going to take them. We have the Two of Wands. The Four of Wands. Interesting. I'm going to get them all out and then give you an overview before we clarify. The Five of Pentacles. Sometimes, I swear, we can be our own worst enemies. This wants to show up. The Six of Pentacles. Oh, this is so perfect. Okay, the Star wanted to reveal itself. That was very intentional, that flip. The Page of Pentacles. I always feel reassured when the Page of Pentacles shows up because it tells me that we're open to learning. And then we have the Fool. Bottom of the deck, we have the Ace of Swords. That is the full moon in Gemini. This is Archangel Michael's Sword of Truth. This is an honest adult conversation, but at the same time, we have the Nine of Swords at the bottom. This is a double-edged sword. Keep that in mind, right? Both edges cut. The truth could be enlightening and illuminating, but at the same time, it could hurt. Now, with the Eight of Swords showing up here, we're stuck in our heads, right? And I've started so many readings this way, it blows my mind. With the Five of Pentacles, though, it's almost like it's self-inflicted. The Eight of Swords is always you keeping yourself stuck. This is not somebody else keeping you hostage, right? This is you keeping yourself hostage. You see, her hands aren't tied. She's closed her eyes, or well, there's a blindfold across her eyes. She can easily untie that blindfold and walk away, right? But she's choosing not to do that. With the Five of Pentacles, she and the little puppy can very easily walk through that door into that church and get the help they need and be warm and well fed. But they're choosing to stay out in the cold. Sometimes, when we enter victim mentality, after we've been through the trauma that we've been talking about, the chip on the shoulder that I mentioned earlier makes itself very prevalent. It makes itself known. It announces itself that I have been wronged. And that becomes the theme of our life. We start feeling sorry for ourselves. We start throwing pity parties for ourselves. And we refuse to accept help because the wounded part of us starts speaking directly to our ego. This is when tower moments happen. I haven't seen a tower yet. Maybe we will once we clarify. But the vulnerability that I was talking about with the tear, that's going to help you form better connections, help you form better bonds than you may have earlier in the past. The Five of Pentacles is also a card of abandonment, right? So it's almost like that trauma of being abandoned, whether it's by a father, it could literally be by a father, or it could be by, well, another energy that wasn't, well, vibing with you. That's the best way I can put it. There was an energy mismatch, right? And that whatever energy that was exited from your life because you weren't connecting. That's keeping you stuck. We'll see how to get out of it once we clarify. The good thing is we have the Two of Wands and we have the Six of Pentacles. The Two of Wands is the intention of pulling yourself out of something, right? Leaving one template of your reality behind and creating a new one for yourself. I love the combination of the Six of Pentacles and the Eight of Swords. It's almost like when you can't help yourself, try and help other people, right? Because you're very capable of doing that. You're very capable of helping other people. It can be hard for us to help ourselves. When you are selfless and kind, and when you're helping other people, you're just increasing the frequency of the planet. And if everybody starts doing that, we're all going to be very, very happy. Okay, that's one thing I'm getting from here. Another thing I'm getting from this is making a conscious decision to cut out what doesn't serve you. That's what the Ace of Swords does as well. It cuts out bullshit. It cuts out drama. It cuts out imbalance, right? We've crossed Libra season, and Libra is the Justice card. This is equality. The south node of the moon is in Libra right now. What does that tell you? It tells you that connections that are not filling you back up don't belong in your life. It's better for you to embrace the Aries North Node, which is individuality and autonomy. It's better for you to be solo, to fly single, to whatever, than be in a connection that is, well, bleeding you dry. Okay, so that is the plan. That is the template I feel that a lot of us are looking forward to. The Four of Wands and the Star is a beautiful energy. The Four of Wands is completion. This is 11-11. For some of you, this could be talking about a twin flame, which is a very rare connection. Don't make it apply to yourself. It is a painful connection and it is incredibly rare, rarer than most YouTubers will tell you. Okay? So do your research. If you're not in a twin flame connection, this will not apply. But the Four of Wands, regardless, could talk about reaching the finish line. Almost like your heart's been running a cross-country marathon and it can finally relax. It can finally take it easy, right? The release, the vulnerability that I was talking about. It's like you've been protecting yourself. You've been guarding your heart all this while. But something transforms. And this isn't magic. This isn't something that's going to come out of nowhere. This is very internal. The Star is the best card for healing. And you see the two cups right here, the two jars, the two jugs. This is Aquarius energy. This is collective healing. This is communal healing. This is healing other people so you can heal yourself. I feel that the people around you are going to be of primal importance right now when it comes to you moving on to the next stage of your life. Right? When we're in this energy, the Eight of Swords and the Five of Pentacles, it's very easy for us to, well, just box ourselves in and isolate ourselves. Now is not the time to do that. Now is the time to spread your wings and connect with like-minded people and heal each other. Let's raise the frequency of the planet, right? If we all help each other, even if we can't help ourselves, we're all still healing, right? The Four of Wands, again, is a beautiful card of even a homecoming. If there has been a separation, let's say in love, this could talk about a return. This could talk about all things permanent and unchanging, right? That's the number 4, the 4 walls of a house, the 4 seasons, the 4 cardinal directions, things that will keep you safe and secure. Very different from the Five of Pentacles energy. Now, the two bookenders of your reading are the Page of Pentacles and the Fool. I'm getting graduation. I'm getting, after a very difficult grade and passing a very difficult exam, it's almost like you're given permission to take a leap of faith into a brand new chapter. But let's clarify. Let's see. I'm getting things are going to be resolved. All the weight that you've been carrying, almost 10 of Wands energy, you'll be able to set those wands down. Justice. There's a reason I was talking about Libra season. We're pretty far away from it now, but there's something about balance here. There's something about karma, karmic justice, evening out of the scales, balance, where things were unfair. I feel like the universe is trying to reverse that. The universe is trying to bring you all the wonderful things that you deserve, things that you may have been denied in the past. And with the Eight of Swords, stop stressing over it, right? When you're placing an order in a restaurant, you're not going to hover over the chef and make sure he's cooking your food well. You're going to trust him to bring you a beautiful plate of food, right? It's the same thing. Trust the process. We have Judgment. Trust the process. I also feel, for some of you, that whoever this was, whether this was, well, a father figure, or it was a significant other, or it was a friend, there may be a do-over. There may be an aha moment. There may be an epiphany. That is what the Judgment card is. This is a realization. This is a spark, right? Again, with the Ace of Swords, this could lead to a conversation. This could lead to an acceptance of what somebody did and how they may have done you wrong. It's interesting how we have that right under the Justice card, right? That honest adult conversation, the closure that I was talking about. Closure doesn't have to mean an ending of something. It could just mean the ending of a painful cycle so that a new one can start. The tear, again, vulnerability. The father is not vulnerable. The father as an archetype, right? This is the Emperor energy, is not vulnerable. But with the tear showing up, there could be a sense of vulnerability now. That is a double-edged sword. It is logic as well as emotion. That is what the full moon represents, right? Interesting. Why is the Two of Wands here? The Knight of Swords, again, honest adult conversation. The Knight of Swords carries the Ace of Swords. This could come in very quickly, right? And I feel like you've been anticipating this. Some of you may have been manifesting this communication. We have to understand that Gemini is ruled by Mercury. Mercury is the planet of communication, right? There's going to be a lot of talk around this lunation. Some of that talk could be gossip. Some of that talk could be arguments. Some of that talk could be proper conversations, right? So make sure you are very intentional about how you are communicating with this person. It is up to you to almost give this conversation direction, purpose, and meaning, right? Be slow to respond and don't react. The Knight of Swords can be very impulsive and reckless, right? We don't want that to be you. It's important for you to neutralize situations right now. Though emotions are running high, it can be difficult to do that. But again, be very intentional. We have the Star again, beautiful. With the Six of Pentacles, heal other people and you will heal yourself. I can't stress that enough. I don't get this message much, but embrace the connections around you. Stop focusing on that one connection that may have let you down, right? It's sometimes, I remember, oh my God, this is so strange. I remember when I was in college, I was probably 18 years old. And I went through a very difficult breakup. And my friends, I was a mess, right? Because, well, I was a mess. I wasn't emotionally mature enough to process that pain. And my friends brought a cake over to my house which said, "Men suck," right? It was hilarious, and it still is to me. But it's almost like that overgeneralization needs to stop. We need to stop stereotyping pain. If one particular individual brought pain to you, it doesn't mean everybody else in the world is going to do the same thing. It can be difficult to let go and trust. It can be difficult to be vulnerable. But if you don't take a leap, you will never know. For some of you, this could just talk about trusting the same person who hurt you, right? Again, I'm not saying wear your heart on your sleeve. Stay on guard. But allow a little bit of kindness, allow a little bit of flow, embrace the flow of life. That is what the full moon in Gemini represents, right? Embracing that flow. The star showing up twice is telling me that there's a lot of healing energy surrounding you and your connections and your relationships. And again, with the Justice card and the Six of Pentacles showing up together, this is balance. This is someone wanting to even out the scales. Funny how I got that. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles with the Four of Wands. You know why we have the Four of Wands here? Your heart resting. It's because you've been working on being self-fulfilled. You've been working on nourishing yourself. How has that happened? It's happened because you went through the Five of Pentacles. When we start building a home in another person, we give them the power and the authority to render us homeless whenever they so like. But once you take that power back and you build that home within you, you're untouchable, you're unshakable, you're unbreakable. That's what's happening here. The Queen of Pentacles is the higher octave of the Nine of Pentacles and a slightly lower octave of the Empress, regardless of gender, right? This is someone who has worked very hard to be where they are in life. But at the same time, there is no chasing here. As Gemma from Gemstone Tarot says, and I love this saying, the Queen of Pentacles is the Queen of Velvet waiting. She, again, no gender, she doesn't chase. She attracts. She waits patiently for wonderful things to come to her, right? I feel like that's what you've been doing. Your heart's been running, chasing, and it's finally settling down. Because you realize the power of manifestation. You realize the law of attraction. The Devil with the Star. Capricorn and Aquarius energy. Bottom of the deck, we have the Ten of Swords with the Page of Swords and the Knight of Pentacles, pardon me. I feel like you're recognizing somebody's shadow. You are recognizing somebody's faults. And there's a forgiveness here, almost. There's almost a forgiveness here. What is the Ten of Swords? It resets firstly to the Ace of Swords, right? But the Ten of Swords is hitting rock bottom. This is karma at its finest. This is karmic lessons that have been learned. This is a computer that has been rebooted. Rebooted, the Fool. I feel that something very difficult about a particular person or a connection has been processed very successfully. I don't have the Tower here on the table, but I do have the Star. And the Star comes right after the Tower in the tarot. The Devil is kind of giving me Tower energy. It's almost like with Neptune retrograde, I was talking about it. Neptune retrograde can make us wear rose-colored glasses. But it's going to be out of retrograde very soon. I think on the 6th of December, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, on the 6th of December. So it's almost like this full moon is going to bring about that dawning, that realization that, all right, this is this person's shadow. This is the shadow I've been dealing with all this while. And there's an inner reflection of, well, I have shadow too. I have darkness too. And as a result, there's a forgiveness that's happening. Interesting. The victim mindset. You remember we started with that. I feel like that's changing very quickly into a very mature acceptance. The Page of Pentacles with the Death card. A very mature acceptance of change. I absolutely love it. The Nine of Cups with Strength and the Magician. Once you put to bed all of these thoughts, all of these self-sabotaging beliefs, all of these self-limiting, self-restricting ideologies, right? I was done wrong. I was abandoned. I've been a victim. I was hurt. I'm not saying you weren't, right? Sending out a huge hug to anybody who's been hurt. But that's not your template. That is not your identity, right? Once you accept the turning over of something, the tilling of the soil, as I like to call it, right? You need to till the soil before you plant seeds. Otherwise, the soil is going to be too rigid to accept roots, right? The tilling of the soil is turning over a new leaf. This is disturbing something so something new can form, something new can grow. The Death card and the Fool. Acceptance of Scorpio season brings about that boost that we need in Sagittarius season. And this full moon is almost like a bridge guiding us towards the other side. The Nine of Cups at the bottom of the deck, it's a wish fulfilled. Don't forget that. And then we have the King of Swords with the Fool. The Fool can be, again, very reckless. I have been advising you against recklessness. But thankfully, the King of Swords is very wise. The King of Swords is very analytical, very logical, right? So there are very less chances that you're going to make a mistake here. Very few chances that you're going to take leaps without calculating the risks first. This is not about getting back into a relationship just because the person that we're talking about is finally coming in to speak, right? This is about not building a wall around you, but maintaining very healthy boundaries, right? Bottom of the deck, we have Temperance with the Six of Pentacles. Sagittarius season with balance. I like this energy. I feel like a lot of you are raising your EQ with the tear. There's a lot of vulnerability that is resurfacing here, whether it's with other people or it's just acceptance within yourself, right? And there's a lot of balance that is coming in. I did see the Queen of Pentacles as the Empress here, and for me the Father is the Emperor archetype, right? No gender, but there's balance right here as well. Whatever this communication is, whatever this flow is, whatever this conversation is, pause and then respond. Don't react. All right? It can be very easy for us to fly off the handle right now. That's not going to serve you, right? Maintain the dignity of the King of Swords regardless of gender. Let's not be fools here, right? We can feel very impulsive right now, but that is not the theme we need to follow. We need to follow this patience, right? What is that wants to show up? The Moon. Interesting. All right, this was a good reading. I liked it. Your December energy updates for all signs are going to be recorded and posted very soon, so make sure you look out for that. And I hope this helped. I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.